What's up YouTube? This is Ultimate Shield 340 back at it again with another Destiny 2 video. So in today's video I am going to showcase to you the Perdition Lost Sector that I am running through with my Warlock. I am trying to get some exotics here for my Warlock, and then once I get the exotic that I am looking for, or exotics that I am looking for, I am going to make some videos about that and kind of showcase to you what I got going on. So with that being said, the first thing you want to do is, well, first of all, the last video I had made about me going through the Lost Sector, I kind of struggled through it a lot because at the time I didn't really understand the mechanics of Destiny 2 as much as I do now. So this time I actually came prepared. One thing that I have done is I have, started to use my heavy weapon a little bit more often, and then two, as you see me here, I am using the Pulse rifle. It is a legendary. I believe this is called Hard Light. I believe is a pulse rifle, not legendary, exotic is what it is. And so it's very helpful for barrier champions and helping me get through that. And you'll kind of see me struggle here. This character is very underleveled, and one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this was also to show you that if you kind of know what you're doing and you're using your corners and being careful, you actually can overcome the Lost Sectors even if you are below level. And I just kind of wanted to show you how I did it. So one thing to note, the enemies, make sure to kill the ads as soon as you can. I would actually recommend, if it's at all possible, kill the ads first, unless there's a way that you can sort of damage the boss, kind of like what you see me sort of doing here. One of the aspects that I have for my Warlock is called Child of the Old Gods, where, as you can see right now, it's actually draining the boss sort of in the background, and any other ads are in the general area of that. So this way you can kind of put DPS on the boss without, kind of do so safely without having to put yourself in harm's way. This next spawn is going to spawn a Overlord champion, which is the one that you see here in the middle. I'm not so good at the Nova Bomb, I believe is actually what it's called at this moment, so I'm still trying to learn how to do that. Unfortunately I do miss, but that's okay. We're all a work in progress, and if you miss it, no big deal. Just take a deep breath, take a step back, and then kind of go back at it again. So that being said, Overlord Overload champions actually can be stunned by as SMGs and auto rifles if you have the appropriate perk selected in your seasonal mod. So even though I'm kind of using the pulse rifle at the moment, the idea is that I'm trying to kill the mobs, but that's not an option. So as you can see there, I was able to go ahead and get the damage on him. So anytime with these overload champions, you want to try and put as much DPS as you can. They will actually heal if you don't stun them. They're kind of like a combination of the unstoppable champions and barriers, where they will heal very quickly if you don't kill them fast enough, but then they're also like the unstoppable, champions, in the fact that they will be relentless and try and sort of run you down. So once you put enough DPS on it, you're able to go ahead and use the finisher, take them out the game, and then move on to the next mob. So as I'm coming up the steps, I recognize that there are mobs that are sort of around the corner here. So of course you just got to go ahead and kill the mobs as you can. Unfortunately, Overload champion, went ahead and just took me out the game. But because I have enough revives, it's not the end of the world. Just something to know, something to remember as I kind of go through this whole process. Good news is that once I take out any champions, you are given a revive. I don't know if it works the same on Master, which is not what I'm doing here. I'm actually just doing the legendary part of this. I don't know if it works the same way at Master, but if it does, just be aware of that as well. So make sure you're using your corners as much as you can so that you are able to position yourself in a way where you can DPS them, but they can't DPS you. And of course, I'm gonna miss my Nova Bomb again. And I'll try and take a step back to reposition myself in a good part. But then I realized he's, not quite chasing me, and then as you can see, he sort of got all his health back, which is rather unfortunate. Um, that's okay though. Just again, use your corners, try and stun them as much as you can, and use whatever abilities that you have at your disposal to DPS these guys down as much as possible and keep them stunned as much as possible as well, so you can go ahead and win the day. Now, here at this part, you'll see here that Hydra thing is kind of coming down. Unfortunately, I do get smoked here, which is, again, rather unfortunate, but, I have 3 revives here, well, actually 2 revives here at this point, so that's okay. Now that I kind of know what's coming, I can kind of, you know, adjust my game plan and then sort of prepare for what's coming up next. So, again, I know that there's a lot of ads, so what I'm going to try and do is kill these ads first, as much as I possibly can. I'm going to switch over to this pulse rifle here and go back at it. Now, one thing I learned about this pulse rifle is that whenever that Hydra has that like rotating shield thing he's got going on, you can actually pierce through it using the pulse rifle if you have the talent, I guess, in the seasonal artifact equipped. So, any of you who see these guys around, and you struggle with those guys, just make sure to, you can actually pierce those shields with that. So, something to keep in mind. Now, I hate these guys. Just I have yet to find a good way to sort of address these guys consistently beyond just essentially just doing as much as I can to DPS them down quickly. Um, Unfortunately, I did die like 2 times here. I am out of revives. No big deal. You just, try and play a little bit cautious and make sure that you, do whatever you can to just take these guys down as soon as possible. So, uh, there's no sense in me holding on to my super, especially if that guy's going to kill me one more time and I am officially going to be out of the um, lost sector if he kills me, so you might as well just use it, right? So I was able to sort of burn him down very quickly. This next one is coming up. Again, I don't know how to like consistently kill these guys. Like, of course, use your corners and things like I'm doing here, and being patient is fine. But, what if I'm, out in the open, or there's not enough cover, or if I just happen to be like in a enclosed space where I can't really get up, like get away from him long, like, and fight him long range. I don't know a good way to, sort of address that issue with this guy at this moment, but something to sort of keep, in mind. If any of you have any, feedback on that, feel free to go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. I would love to hear whatever you guys' ideas are, or whatever your recommendations are, because I always have trouble with this guy, and thankfully this time I was able to kill him before he killed me. So up next we have the barrier champions. The good news for this lost sector is that because I'm on the steps, essentially, as you can see here, I'm sort of using the steps as cover to avoid getting killed if I wasn't so reckless, I guess, in my gameplay. Now that I did unfortunately die, but that's okay. Now that I've sort of seen what there is to see here, I am able to sort of maybe adjust my gameplay and kind of go right back at it. So come out of the lost sector, and then you'll see me go right back in. So now that I've kind of seen, for the most part, what this lost sector has to offer, now you have to think about what are your tactics that are available to you to, address each of the issues. In this case, for me, the good news was that I can just come up on top of these steps, sort of, again, kill these ads. In my experience, it's better to kill the ads whenever at all possible, and then focus on the boss or whatever. I was in a good part where I could just sort of use my heavy ammo. Thankfully, I didn't shoot the ground and kill myself, because I have been unfortunately known to do that to myself. But I didn't kill myself this time, and I was able to get some good DPS on the boss. Meanwhile, go ahead, kill these little guys and reload, and then keep moving on, keep killing these ads and trash mobs. One thing about the Warlock I really enjoy is the fact that you can use the Child of the Old Gods. That little, I don't know, spear, I guess, is down there, and it is able to kill, do some really good DPS. It's really good if you are able to sort of proc it in the, in an area full of enemies. Unfortunately, I didn't do that this time, but that's okay. I'm gonna let it recharge, and I'm gonna just continue to kill on these little ads, and then shoot the boss in the distance. So as you can see, there's that overload champ is coming my way. Of course, I'm trying to stun him, DPS him down as quickly as I can, run over here to cover. The tricky part is I don't know which side he's going to come from. Either he'll come from the left or he'll come from the right. Because he's not coming, I also know, first and foremost, he already regenerated all his health, which is rather unfortunate. But that's okay, because now I can focus on killing the sort of that other boss that's sort of out in the distance trying to destroy me. One thing I have learned is that if you kind of like go back and forth left and right, you can kind of make him shoot on the right side of the pillar, and then you can kind of come on the left because you broke line of sight and they don't know where you are. So this way you can kind of keep getting some shots off while you put some DPS on the boss. Luckily enough for me, I was able to get enough DPS on the boss where the Hydra was, I think it's called Hydra. But whatever that mini boss guy is, he disappeared. Again, don't hold on to your supers. Make sure that you use it. You're going to be able to regenerate your super energy back at least a few times within the lost sector. So, if you need it, use it. DPS down all these guys as quickly as possible, so you can move on, and then hopefully, save your revives, and hopefully save yourself a huge headache later on as well. Now, same thing here. Another overload champ, and kill him as fast as possible, but also make sure you don't die to the trash mobs that you see here down below. And then try and DPS him down as quickly as you can. Now, I am sort of standing in this electricity, um, and I kind of realized that that's okay. Just make sure, again, you just don't die from the electricity. And then, do everything you can to continue to stun them and DPS them as much as you possibly can while you have the opportunity. One thing I did learn is that it seems that you cannot stun him very quickly in succession. There is a small, like, charge, or I guess there's a small time before you can, like, stun him again for a second time. So, if you're able to do that, just knowing that, make sure that you are in a safe place before you continue to try and get him. And I was able to kind of get him down. Now, as you remember, in this next phase, there's going to be some more trash mobs that comes down, and then it'll be those, I don't know what to call them. I guess they're called wyverns, I want to say, where it's the two-legged things that I told you earlier before I have trouble with. And then you have two barrier champs and that giant boss, that Hydra, I guess is what it is. I would say this is probably the hardest section in the entire Lost sector right here because of the enemy types that you'll see. You see that barrier champ out there trying to destroy me. And then whenever you are able to kill him, then or at least once you get further into the room, then the additional mobs will also spawn, and all of them all together are a huge pain. And now you see that Hydra that I was telling you about earlier before, he's there, and then just do your best to take care of the mobs as much as you can, and just do your best. While it was very unfortunate that I died right there, the good news is that some of the enemies, like you see this guy coming down, have now spawned in the room and are actively coming further into the room, which is means that I can go ahead and DPS these guys and take care of them before I can move on. Um, the strategy is that you're able to sort of deal with each of these guys one by one and sort of quickly kill them before they kill you. And so even though I did die, it's just a minor setback. And something to think about as well, even though you sort of lose the battle, you're going to win the war, because even though it is a minor setback, the idea is that now that the enemies have now spawned, now I can attract them to me one by shooting them, and then slowly dismantle the issue, as you can see here. So keep that in mind in your own adventures, and try not to be too frustrated if things go wrong. Just try and see the glass half full and see, this might be a great opportunity. Even though I died, this is actually going to be something positive, and I can make something work with this. Now, also one thing to note here, the unfortunate side effect is that these guys, these barrier champions, will sort of warp all over the place, which again it can be very disorientating. Sorry about that, and you just have to do your best. Once you get them to like a good position, like you'll see me kind of do like here, you can actually sort of cheese them out in the sense where um, well, unfortunately for me, this guy like sort of teleported behind me. But ideally, you'll have either one up there on the steps like so, and you can just attack him like you see me doing here. And then the other one is just gonna kind of be not, not see you, so he's not gonna react. Or if you actually have both of them, you can actually fight them on the steps. Where the steps, if you are standing at a certain spot, they'll actually shoot the floor in front of you, and so you can essentially get a whole bunch of shots off from them without them actually being able to hit you. So the idea is that hopefully you'll be able to focus on one at a time and then kill them one by one. If you don't die repeatedly like I do, that's okay. Again, remember, try and see the good in every situation. At this point, I think I'm a little bit frustrated, rightfully so, I think. But I just kind of come up here to the steps and then kind of alter my tactics a little bit, get them to sort of come over to me by the steps, and now you'll see kind of what I was talking to you about earlier, where now they're sort of shooting in front of me and not actually hitting me, and now I'm kind of able to sort of focus down on one barrier champion at a time, and without me getting killed. So yeah, just be patient. Just keep sort of sidestepping and using the steps to your advantage. Use whatever whatever heavy that you have available to you to sort of kill these guys as quickly as you can. And once you get one down, then now all you have left is just the one else that is available. One thing I want to go ahead and say for all of you who have watched my video up until this point, I just want to go ahead and say thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I know today and this video is not the most exciting of content, but I wanted to show this to you to sort of tell you and show you, like, again, first and foremost, an evolution of gameplay, but then two, that you can actually do the Lost Sector before. Not to mention that many of you have liked my, I guess it was a series that I made about failure and success, and how you should look at your failure as an opportunity to grow, and that is simply a challenge for you to overcome. And so I wanted to show you that, although I struggled beforehand, and I did struggle a little bit in this one, the difference here is that in this time around, I didn't struggle anywhere near as much or as long as I did last time, because I learned from previous mistakes. I learned about the gameplay and what I should be doing and things, and so now I'm getting much higher rate of success in these Lost Sectors, because now I've actually adapted my gameplay in such a way that's going to be beneficial to me. Yeah, I just want to let you all know. So that being said, this is Ultimate Shield 340 signing off, and I'll see you in Destiny 2. Peace.